Hello, everybody. My name is Linda. I'm sure some of you recognize my voice from all my plenty calls. But we are very excited to have every one of you over here. You are all very important to our business. So once again, we say welcome to you all. And so, a warm welcome, as I said before. Today's workshop is designed to help you know more about the digital tools that you can use to help your business grow. So, not only OZE, things that you can use to do your marketing, tools that you can use just generally to make your lives very easy. And so today we hope that you'll be able to pick up a skill or two or like knowledge about some of these tools. And then at the end of the day, we'll see your businesses grow. Because we believe that when you grow, OZE also grows. So thank you very much for coming.
Okay, I would like everybody to introduce themselves and let us know what business you run, and then we'll take it from there. So I'll start with you.
I am Nana Kosia. My business is Kinky Crown.
Mr. K. Clothing.
My name is Edward. I'm on-track finisher. We produce kitchen cabinets, wardrobes, TV stands.
Welcome. I want us to do a little icebreaker. What does this look like? This square. Okay, keep going.
I mean, yeah, you're on the right path.
On the right path, so keep going.
Okay.
Who said it? Okay, so Kingsley got it. So it's not necessarily a OZE shop, but it's an online shop. So
yeah.
Kingsley got it.
Well,
give him a round of applause. Great job. Thank you so much. Any guesses so far?
More like, who is this? Who do you think this is?
OZE is not allowed to take part. Who was that?
Yes, you are correct.
That's
Nana Addo, the president of Ghana. Our next speaker is going to be talking to us about financial management and then financial literacy and also using digital tools for this. And so our next speaker is in the person of Mr. Prince Motagbe. He's our senior customer success associate in OZE, customer success manager in OZE, sorry. And so he's going to be taking you to, please, can you give him a round of applause, please?
Let's give a round of applause to Winnie and Linda. Wow. This, thank God I wasn't part of the team to draw because I really don't know how to draw. But I can see the glasses was accurate. So that's good. Awesome. Great. So excited to have you here. We are hoping that by the end of this session, we will convince you to get onto the OZE app and, leapfrog your business onto the next level. And so, without much ado, I'll just start, But first, I just want us to talk. This is going to be a very interactive session. It's not going to be me doing slides and having conversation, with pictures and all of that. We are going to talk, okay? Because it is money matter. And money matter, everyone needs to talk, okay? So, now, there is this thing that I've noticed, right? And please correct me if I'm wrong, is that most of the time, our mothers or our grandmothers who were traders, if you are here and your mother or your grandmother was a trader, please show by hands. Okay, so most of us had our mothers who were traders, right? What I noticed was that for my grandmother, she was very entrepreneurial. She had groceries, sacks of sugar and needle. And those were days when milk wasn't popular, but powdered, needle was everywhere. Needle and gari, all kinds of household groceries. She had a very nice shop at Kaswa, and she'll go to work every dawn and then come back later in the evening. And then at the end of things, or when she was really, really old, then she had to stop, moving around. Her business died out, right? Now, what I remember also was that when I needed money, she would tell me that I should go to the cardboard at the top over there. There is a kunku, there is a tin, right? There is money inside. I should go and take it and go and get or buy whatever that I want to buy. Who has had this particular experience before with your mothers or your grandmothers and all that? So you see, it's something that happens a lot, right? And then at the end of, the day, she will still complain that this business that she's even doing, she doesn't see where it is going. She doesn't know where the money is going to, right? Is this very familiar to all of us here? It's very, very familiar, right? So you see that what happened to our mothers and our grandmothers is very similar to what is happening to a lot of businesses today. Why is that? Yes.
Because of lack of records keeping. That is why you don't see where your money is going.
That's a very good answer. Any other response to that?
Because of the management of the money they get.
Because of the management of the money they get. Are you talking about lack of management of the money they get? Okay. The negligence. That's also a very good point. Who has other theories? Yes.
I also think that pricing is a problem for them, and then also probably the personal expenses is more than the profits that is coming.
Pricing, a problem with pricing and personal problems, right? So these are very interesting reasons why whatever happened, back then is happening now. If you are very spiritual, you say that generational. Yes, but it all boils down to, the answers that you've all provided here, right? And it comes down to maybe 200 Ghana cedi, right? Then I come back later on at the end of the day. I went out, I bought a couple of things, did this, did that. Now I'm taking inventory of the money that is left. Then I can see in my pocket that I have 60 Ghana cedi, right? Now I am struggling to accurately account for the 140 Ghana cedi, where it all went to. Then I sit down, I'm like, okay, maybe I bought airtime somewhere here. I bought probably some pie somewhere here. I did this, I did that. But there's always some 20 CDs or 30 CDs that I can't figure out where it went to. And sometimes you'll think that maybe a ghost placed their hands in your pocket and took your money away, or you probably dropped the money somewhere, right? It happens, right? So what I'm trying to drive at is that as a business, there are certain things that are very crucial to your business, and you don't need to take it for granted. You might be very good with marketing when it comes to your business, right? You might be very good with the operations when it comes to your business, but there's one critical thing that is very important for your business. That is the lifeblood of your business, and that brings us to financial management. Are we all here today? Okay, so let's move on to the next slide then. So we have this gentleman here. He's telling us that it's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. Do we all agree? Anyone that disagrees to it? I want people to disagree. I want violence today. Who disagrees with this? Let's go back.
The first 3 lines, that's fine. But how many generations keep it for? Or how many generations? That really isn't up to you. I could be very good with my money, keep as much, because I've seen it before in my friends' lives, and the parents kept a lot of money and they spent less than 5 years to blow it all. So that didn't go to the next generation. So the second sentence I probably wouldn't agree with.
That's a very fair point. Who want to push back on what she said? another, yeah, correct, go ahead.
It's about how much money you make. Well, it sounds okay how much money you make, but and of course how much money you keep, but how much you are able to keep depends on how much you make. And sometimes you may save a little, but a little is too little to make any kind of impact. If any impact will be made, it depends on whom is maximizing that kind of opportunity, and that is how, like our woman said, is not up to. So how much you make is also equally important.
Interesting. So it's not about, it's about how much you make, right? Because that also affects how much you keep. Interesting. Go ahead.
One part is how hard it works for you. Even if the money is little and you invest it into a reasonable business, it will bring more profit.
This is exciting. Now you're getting the whole argument here, right? Yeah. So any more violence? Let's have more violence. Let's go.
Like the last one, and how many generations you keep it for. If you don't empower the generation very well, in less than 1 year, you will not see the money there. So I'm agreeing with the first speaker that you have to keep in line the capacity. Just like Coca-Cola, the way they made the capacity or the way they organize it, it will keep going. And it's for the family and it will not go off. So if you don't keep the capacity and keep training the people to manage the thing and acquire more ideas to keep it with the generational trend, the thing will fizzle out.
That's very interesting.
Okay, I want to talk about and how many generations you keep it. I feel sometimes you need to invest in your business so that you can sustain it for the next generations. You invest in management, you invest in probably maintenance culture, which will come together so that you can improve your business even though when you're not around.
So this is a really interesting feedback. Yes, please go ahead.
This is, I just want to second the two last people who spoke.
Go ahead.
For me, I think it's about the mindset. The Bible said, if you pour a strong wine in a weaker vessel, it blows it up. So I think it comes back to management. Part of the management is making the money. Part of it is sustaining it. So if you pass on the value to the people, that is the generation aspect. So if you pass on the value to the people that you are handing over to, they would also be able to manage it and hand over to somebody that they would also pass on the value to. So it's all about the value and the vision of the company, passing it on. That's what I think it is.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, I was actually going to end on this one, but yes, go ahead.
How hard it works for you? I feel like if you put the money in the wrong places, it might not work as hard as you want it. So you should have an eye of where is it profitable to, not only putting it somewhere that you think could work hard.
Interesting. And all the contributions that have been made are very much interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, this is my take on this, right? Now, when we talk about financial management, people think that it is them and the business, me and the business. But what happens here is there are few things that are very important. It is you, the money, and the people surrounding the business that you need to manage to make sure that your business transcends you. This is what I mean. When we are talking about generation, I see your team, your employees, as that generation around your business. Because if you are unable to train that generation around you to properly do good financial management on your business, it won't succeed. It won't even be available for your children's generation. It won't even be available, right? And you can't survive running a business on your own. Now, it is about how much money you make, okay? And also how much money you keep. All of that matters. Everything. The money you make matters, how much of it you keep matters, and how hard you make it work for you also matters. And how you train the people around you to also be on the same level playing field with you. So for instance, my boss, Dave, and you'll be hearing from him very, very soon, right? If he gives me a petty cash, right? And then I take that petty cash and I try to get a taxi driver to take me from point A to B. And the taxi driver says that it will cost me 50 cedis. If I go like, okay, let's go. It is petty cash. I'll pay for it, right? It is company's money. But what if I try to bargain to reduce that cost of 50 cedis to maybe 30 cedis? Now there is extra 20 cedis that will be left to do other things. And so the cumulative effects of that kind of management skill or character transcends to other things, right? And so I basically consider myself as a generation to my boss in the company, right? And so when we are talking about financial management, I would encourage you also to see the team members around you as generations around your business. Are we on the same page? Okay. But I really love this argument and all of that, the pushbacks. Let's have more of it as we go on. And please, you can do violence also to me in case you disagree with something. Let's continue. Great. So why financial management, right? Now, basically, financial management is something big. Now, it's something that people go to school to study for 4 years, 5 years, and all of that. But today we have like, what, 40 minutes? 40 minutes to talk about it. And so we're just going to run through and deal with the basics, right? Now, as a business owner here, right, when we are talking about financial management, what do you think financial management is for you or for your business? Anyone? Yes.
Basically, how you find money for your business, how you run your business, and how you keep your business profitable so it can continue.
Any other opinion here?
And also how you can increase your profit.
Awesome. So basically, financial management. Dave, did you want to say something? Okay, I saw your hand up. That's so basically, financial management is about planning, organizing, and controlling your financial activities in your business. And that's what we do all the time, every day in our business, right? You want to be able to use the money that you have in your business so that it brings you more money, right? You don't want to use that money that leads you to a loss, okay? And so financial management is basically planning, organizing, and controlling your financial activities so that you can achieve the targets that you have for your business. There's nothing to it. Our mothers have been doing that, just that they've not been documenting it, all right? And our fathers too have been doing that, just that they've not been documenting it. But these days, because of our technological age, we are encouraging people to document their financial management activities. Basically, that is all. So you plan. Before the day starts, you know that this is what you want to do, this is the money that is available, and this is the expectations that you have for it. And so, when you're doing financial management, you want to get the best return of investment for your money, right? You want to get the best return of investment, that's ROI. And so, you look for safe opportunities that you can put your money into. As a business owner, you're just looking for opportunities every single day. Every single day. So what opportunities are there that I can put my money into? If a client comes and says that, I want you to sew this dress for me, right? If you're a tailor, and a client comes and says, I want you to sew this dress for me, right? You can say, okay, either you make a down payment for me so that I can buy the things for you, or I use my own money and then you pay extra. You see? So you are looking for opportunities, because if the customer comes and doesn't pay, the risk is that that customer might not even pay. It's high that they may not pay you when you sew your dress, when you sew their dress for them. And that is money that has gone to lock up. And so the financial management aspect of you will go like, okay, do a down payment. Right? So you are looking for those opportunities to make sure that the money that you are going to invest gives you returns. That's basically financial management here. And you are also discovering funds that you can reinvest, right? When you pay attention to cost, you save. That's basically financial management. What are the things that you're doing in your business that you can cut down on? Now, there are so many things that when you sit down as a business that are not intricate to the survival of your business, when you really analyze, when you really, really sit down and analyze, you realize that certain things that you've been spending money on, it's not really important for your business, right? So maybe you have a tailoring business. Is getting an AC very important to your business compared to getting a fan? Because the minute you get an AC, what happens? Your costs of lighting increases, right? And then you would also even need to get someone to come and set up that place for you. That is an additional cost, right? So when you look at the cost-benefit analysis of your business, you begin to realize that, okay, is this important for my business? Can I just do away with it, right? And so you tend to utilize funds strategically when you do financial management. Now, these are just a lot of other things where you can predict slow man so that you can stay out of debt. Now, if you are into books, right? Yeah, if you have a bookshop and then you're into books. Now, if you're doing financial management, you'll be able to know that this is my peak mark. When people are going to school, when students are going to school. So you get to know that this is my peak mark. And so I need to put in more money so that I can sell or buy books to sell for me to be able to get, more revenue. If you are not tracking your business financially, you won't be able to determine that this is how much you need to buy certain books to be able to sell. And it's not every time that book business is high. Sometimes are very slow periods, right? And so when people are going on vacation, you can stock your book business for that. And then you can also predict fast months so that you can meet demand and then know when it will take to be profitable. Because now, there are things that people don't really track. And that is very key here. When you are going to buy something from the market, what are the main things that people usually say or add to the cost of buying products from markets to come and sell? What are the main things? Cost of transportation. Yeah, so what else? Now, the silence for 5 seconds is very telling. Now, I asked the question, what are the main things, right? The first thing that came to mind was cost of transportation, right? Now, there are other costs that you don't factor in. The water that you buy, the food that you also pay for. Because the food that you pay for in the market is different in terms of pricing compared to the food that you can make your own food at home. But you are taking money out of your pocket to buy food. People don't factor that into it. If you have to buy airtime to even call your shop, to call people, to find out, or even to call your customer who probably came and said that I want this, and you promise them that, oh, when you go to the market, you get that for them, people also don't factor that also into it. Have you seen where we are going to now? So there are costs that people or business owners ignore because they think, oh, it is daily life, right? But the minute you step out for your business, on behalf of your business, any activity that you undertake needs to be factored in, and hence the need for financial management, right? Else, at a point, you get to a realization just like what our mothers or our grandmothers did and said, this business that I'm doing, I don't even see where the money is going to. But the little foxes, the little costs, the little expenses that we incur built up all the way to becoming a huge cost and can affect our profitability or our break-even. Are we on the same page here? Any questions so far? Okay, so let's go to the next screen. Thanks, Mikey. So the question here is this, right? When do you need to do financial management? Pardon? She says every second. Any other answer to that?
You should be able to have a period where you plan ahead when you're doing the financial, the planning session, this part of the financial management. When you go into the market or you decide to take a decision to buy, that period where it is impulse buying or impulse bargaining, maybe you budgeted 50 CDs for something. You went there, they said it's 50 CDs. But something deep down is telling you that this boy wants to do mutual. So you want to bargain and then you end up buying it for 10 CDs. I think that part is also financial planning. When you come back, you have to do a review of whatever went on in the market, and then it also informs your next planning decision. So I think it is a whole process. It's not like you have to do financial planning on Monday ahead of Saturday.
That's an interesting take on that. Any other take?
I also think it depends on the nature of your business. In some businesses, they normally go to town maybe a month or a weeks. For instance, like me, a client can make an order, I have to go right now. So as at any point, I need to do a financial management because of what I do.
Yes.
Well, I think it starts right from the beginning when you get the idea of starting a business or any idea you get in your head. You sit down to plan and you want to begin invest in this kind of opportunity. So it starts from when you plan your business. You need capital. You have to plan about where to get the capital, where to get money to finance this your great idea.
Wow. So usually, so he said it's a continuous process. He said it is always, and he says that from the onset, right? So what do we get here? When to do financial management? It's always. Now, you might be thinking, is that not going to be exhaustive? Like, very tiring, right? And he also added something that was very interesting. That when you're doing financial management, you are likely to have a long-term financial management plan, and you can also have a short-term financial management plan. So your short-term financial management plan is dependent on your long-term financial management plan. So you can have a 1-year financial management plan, right? And say, this is what you want to do, right, for your business. These are the things that you want to buy. This is what you want to get. And so you break it down further and say, okay, for 6 months, this is where you want to hit. Quarterly, this is what you want to do. Monthly, this is what you want to do. And that trickles down all the way to daily. And so when we are talking about financial management plan, there are 3 pillars that falls under financial management. And we'll talk about that also. Can we get to the next slide? Here we go. You plan, which is budgeting, right? So you are always planning when it comes to financial management. And when it comes to budgeting and planning, you can have an annual budget and say, for your business, this is my annual budget for my business. Who here has a budget for their business? A 1-year budget for their business? Okay. Who here has a 6-month budget for their business? Okay, let's go down. Who here has a 3-month budget for their business? 3-month budget. Okay, 1 person. Who here has a monthly budget for their business? 2. Who here has a weekly budget for their business? 3. Okay, so we have 1 person with a 3-month budget for their business, another one with a 1-month budget for their business, and another one with a 1-week budget for their business. So what this tells us is that there are a lot of businesses out there who probably have the plan in their head, right? But it's not documented. Is that the case for everybody here? Okay, do you have a 10 years budget here? Someone has a 5 years budget. Wow, 2025, nice. That's a business plan. That's really cool. So, and I hope one day we'll talk about business plan as well. So, when you are planning, right, it's important to have the long-term view. Then you break it down into bits and pieces. And so, what is your target for your business? What is the financial plan for your business here? And then when we're talking about that financial plan, what do you want to hit for your business, right? what do you want to hit at the end of 1 year? 1 year. What income do you want to make? And then what expenses will take you to get to that target? Are we here? And so I would challenge everybody here that, look, if you don't have a budget for your business, if you don't have a budget for your business, you are likely to always be doing impulse buying. You're always likely to just be spending based on the trend. Okay, and so you are the business owner. You know what you want to do for your business. You have a very good idea as to what you want to achieve, the income that you want to make at the end of the year, and you can't hit that target just by randomly doing things or just doing marketing and talking to customers. You need to have a plan. And that plan says that come up with a budget and say, this is the activities I need to undertake to achieve this particular target I've set for myself. Are we here? So the plan is very, very important. And then when it comes after the plan, then you do organization. And that is managing and forecasting, right? And so when you are doing the managing, it means that you are now looking for the resources to be able to hit the targets that you've set for yourself. And when managing it, you are estimating that after this period, this is what I want to get, right? And then those forecasting should always lead you to achieving the targets that you have planned for yourself, and then controlling, which is supervising. Look, we talked about impulse buying. As a business, you're likely to just be jumping around and buying things and doing this and running around and all of that. But when you have a financial plan, you know what you want to do. And I've had cases where business owners can't even figure out how much they spent 1 month ago for their business. And that is dangerous. It is dangerous because the business is an entity on its own. And when you meet a potential investor and that person asks you questions about your business, it is going to be very difficult for you to give a response to that. Okay? And even if you can remember, a lot of your responses are going to go with, I spent about 12,000 CDs in my business yesterday, last week, or maybe a month ago, and I made about 15,000 CDs and all of that. That is not a very diligent way to talk to investors about your business. What investors hate to hear, and let me tell you the secret here, what investors hate to hear is you using the word about. Because the minute you are saying about, it means that if they give you their money to invest in your business, you won't know the head and tail of it. You're not sure about your business. You're not really certain about how you're spending money and how much money that you're making. And so they will tag you as unserious. But imagine someone here talking to an investor and says that last month we spent 12,000 CDs on our business and we had a profit margin of 10% on whatever expenses that we made, right? Now, that 12,000 CDs, 10% of it is 1,200, right? Now, the investor quickly knows that you're on top of your finances. You know what is happening to your business. You know what money you are spending and how much money is coming back into your business, right? And so, if you are watching programs like Shark Tank or the Dragon's Den, or those are very hot moments where people are asked questions about their finances. And so providing answers to investors highly depends on your ability to control your finances and know the 1, 2, 3-ness of your finances. Are we all on the same page here? Okay, let's go to the next slides. So when we are talking about financial management, the easier things that people really ignore or people don't really pay attention to is their fixed income, their fixed expenses, their variable income, variable expenses. I'll just rush through this. This is just, a whole lot of stuff that you'll probably forget after this place. And I hope you don't forget. But basically, as a business, you need to know which items are fixed for you, which items you definitely need to spend on, and which items you are expecting to be income or money coming into your business. And so all this plays you get to see fixed income and then fixed expenses. When you know your fixed income and then you know your fixed expenses, it helps you to draw a very good budget on your business. Are we all here? And so the planning aspect is identifying which items becomes your fixed income and then which items becomes your fixed expenses. And then the fixed expenses are things that you will spend on for your business, no matter what. So if you have a tailoring business, you definitely pay for electricity. So it is there for you. If you have a place that you have rented, you pay for rent. If you have a team that is working for you, you definitely pay for salaries, right? And then if you know that there are very high seasons or peak seasons where a lot of customers come for to ask for your services, you'll make room for what? Extra workers, right? You'll make room for contractors, contract workers for your business. And definitely, you'll also look at government and bank fees if you're doing Momo. Just apportion a certain fee that this is how much you expect to spend on transaction fees for every transfer that you make. And people don't even factor that out, factor that into their business. It is money that is leaving your business as well. Okay, so if you have a website, hosting, a whole lot of things. Now, fixed income here could also be that maybe you're into a furniture business, right? Good. Do you have clients, that are in the bank? Okay, so you deal with banks, right? Good. Now, what I know with banks is that when they buy furniture, they have a period, maybe 4 years or 5 years, and then they replace those furnitures, right? And so when you have a contract with them, maybe a 20-year contract, you expect that every 4 years, you'll get a contract from them. You get an income from them. And that is a fixed income that you plan for, that you budget for, right? So that is a fixed income. So if you're also here, maybe into tailoring or you supply a school with catering, right? That is a contract. That is a long-term contract. So you factor that into your financial planning as well. Are we all here? Now, others are the sales that you make, regularly. And then we have variable income and expenses. So things that changes, expenses that, today it is 1 CD, tomorrow it is 2 CDs, the next day it is 5 CDs. Basically, that is variable expenses. And so raw materials, okay? You need to really plan for all of this. And when you're planning for variable expenses, you go like, okay, every month or every 3 months, the prices of things that I buy increases by 10%. Right? And so you have that assumption in your head that this is how prices change over time. And so when you're planning to buy raw materials in the next 6 months, you don't plan with the price that is now. You plan ahead and say that maybe in the next 6 months, the price of that 2,000 CDs, 2,000 raw materials that I buy will change to maybe 2,500 CDs. And so you make room for that. Are we here? Now, this is good. So now we are getting to the exciting part. Let's move on to the next slide. So, the question here is, before you can do financial management, what are the things you need to do, right? You need to know your business. You need to know your business. If you are here and you don't know your business, you can't do financial management. You can't manage your business at all. And then you also need to understand your market. Very well, very much so. You need to really be on point with them and to know the investors that are in your space. Okay? Because you would always be meeting investors every single time. If you are here and you don't want to talk to investors or get investors to invest in your business, please raise your hand so that when we at Oze, we get investors that are interested in businesses, we don't come knocking on your door. Everyone is interested in investors, right? And it's always important to know what are your fixed and variable income and expenses, and then you set your assumptions, as I said. See, one thing that is very key is that you don't need to be taken by surprise. And you never be taken by surprise if you're constantly engaging in financial management, because you've already made room for those assumptions that prices of things will increase. Last year, things were really increasing. Crazy prices were just happening, right? Those were extraordinary cases, right? And so a lot of businesses suffered. But when you make assumptions based on normal assumptions that prices are going to increase by this much. And of course, you need to also make assumptions based on what you see around you as well. Okay? You'll be able to have a solid financial plan for your business so that you can grow. Okay? And then you create and present your budget and forecast that that assumption can be easily adjusted. So when you create a budget, right? I think last year I had a session with a group of business owners where we talked about budget, and they were asking, when you create a budget, do you follow that budget like a Bible? Like, if everything is changing, do you still stick to that budget? No, you don't. You change. You change your budget. So you can have a 5-year budget, and it becomes irrelevant after 6 months or 1 year. It becomes irrelevant because you can still based on that same budget again. That's why you constantly and always need to be updating your information and then your budget. Are we here? So when you have a budget, it doesn't become a Bible, okay? And so you can always adapt or change. And of course, you need to use OZE. This is all that we are driving to. You need to use OZE. The reason why we want you to use OZE is this. Let's move to the next screen, please. When you are doing financial management and using OZE, you'll be able to understand a few things here. And so we're going to talk about financial cheat sheets, why this is very important, and why this is usually most of the questions that investors ask. And you can only be able to give these responses when you are very good at financial management. Who here has had that feeling that they bought a product to sell, and then the minute they sold, if the product was like 1,000 cedis, and then they sold the product for 1,500 cedis, they see that they've made 1,500 cedis in their business? Yeah, do you understand the question? When you buy a product to sell, right? Or you offer a service, and it costs you 1,000 cedis to offer that service, and a customer patronizes that offer, right? And pays you back 1,500 cedis. How much have you made? 500. Okay, now we have someone saying no. You disagree? Okay.
There definitely had been some other cost factors, transportation and food, other things that has went into it.
Okay. Okay. Classy.
What he's talking about, I think person made 500 because the cost price of the product is actually 1,000 Ghana cedis. That is me factoring my transportation and any other. So after I sold to the person and the person pays me 1,500, meaning I made a profit of 500 Ghana cedis. Meaning the 1,000 Ghana cedis that I took from my own money is still there. You understand? So it's 500 cedis.
Okay. Okay. Any? Yeah. Here we go.
I disagree because the cost price at that particular point in time that the person is paying you, do you factor in inflation at that point in time? You have to factor in inflation to know if you are really, that 500 is your real profit. That's why I said I disagree.
This is interesting. Now we have inflation here. Any pushbacks, any opinions, anything? They're telling me I have 5 minutes. There's so much to say. Okay. So, your cost price is 1,000 cedis from the products that you have. And you sold it to the customer at a cost of 1,500 cedis, right? So the contention is, in that cost, does it include your transportation, right? Your airtime and all of that? So the cost price itself, when you say cost price of something, it's inclusive of everything, okay? The cost of goods sold, the costs of, so many things that you incurred to be able to get that particular product to give to that particular customer. That is your cost price, right? Now, your selling price is 1,500 cedis. So you subtract that and then you get 500 cedis. So the business owner has made 500 cedis. However, there's more to it. People think that their sales revenue is the same as their net profits. Who here has ever gotten confused by that? People make that mistake. So your sales revenue is basically the money that comes into your business after you deliver a product, right? After you deliver a product. And so that sales revenue is 1,500. Are we on the same page here? Now, your net profit is that 500 cedis. When you subtract your total expenses from the sales that you have made, right? And that is what Ose does for you. It separates that. I can see you're confused. So let's just take it back again. Ask questions. Mm-hmm. So the net profit here is the cost of goods sold, your operating expenses, the interest. Someone said inflation, right? So when you factor those inflations and everything inside, and then you get your net profit. So that net profit is 500 cedis. That 1,500 cedis that you have gotten is your revenue. And so sometimes you hear businesses say, I had a revenue of this, I had a revenue of that, I had a revenue of 100,000 cedis and all of that. That is the total money that you received after you sold your products. But you have incurred a cost that you have not calculated for. And so when you incur that, when you calculate that cost that you have incurred, then your profit becomes that money. And so a lot of businesses, when they are dealing in their financials, they usually don't think about this. They are thinking about the money that is hitting their account. But when you do the calculations and realize that, like when you take out those expenses and everything, then you think, oh, Yehovah, am I working for God and country, or I'm working for myself? Right? So these are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves constantly. Are we here? Mm-hmm.
Say, I bought this chair, 100 cedis. I store it here, the light and everything. I come to shop every day. And I sold it to someone, 120 cedis. Now, Ose, I want to list it on Ose's shop. And Ose asked me, how much did you pay for the chair? And I said 100 cedis. That's correct. Is that correct?
Okay. So, yes, that is.
I tell Ose 100 cedis, right?
But now, you have to add a selling price.
So they asked me, how much will I sell it? And I said 120 cedis. Okay. My question is, at the point of adding it, okay, where am I supposed to add the cost price? Should I calculate the electricity, add my food? Maybe I have a warehouse girl or boy. Add the money I'll pay to, divide it by the number of chairs I have, and how much I'll be paying the person. Add it to the cost of the chair before I tell Lucy that I bought it at that price, or what? That's my point.
That's a very interesting question that he's asking. All right. So who here has a response to that? At the point that he's entering the cost price of the chair, right, in the Ose app, he bought a chair for 100 cedis. Now the selling price when he's entering in Ose is 120. So the question that he's asking is, at what point do I need to enter that? The other cost. Mm-hmm.
I've been naughty. I've had Ose for years and I haven't used it properly. But what I can say is there should be a part where we list all our fixed expenses, right? And if I know how apps work, it's going to, you've listed all those things already. You've listed your monthly expenses, your whatever. So you put the price of what you bought as it is. And at the end of, if you want to find a graph of how much is going, that would calculate it for you. You don't need to do all that yourself.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so let me use Ose as an example. On the Ose app, we have new sales and expenses. So your new sales on the chair is 120 cedis. So now you come back to expenses. So whatever is expenses in your office, you put in there, and it will be deducted from your total amount of money you have. So you have your profit there.
So let me help also. The two feedback that we've received from the two of you is on point. Now, when you are entering your cost price, you enter the cost price of the chair, right? Now, there are expenses that you make in your business. Electricity, transportation, those fields, you also have to enter that in the OZE app, even rent, right? So those are expenses that you have already recorded, and it's factored, okay, as expense on your OZE app. So you just have to enter the price that you feel, you would like to sell this particular chair. So if it is 120 cedis, you enter the 120 cedis. However, you would have captured your expenses already because you are entering your expense transactions from other activities that you're incurring, okay? Which, of course, also impacts the selling price of your chair. Does that make sense?
From the point where I'm thinking, if we think from service, I think I would agree with that aspect that the sales, if you offer the service at maybe 150 cedis, your cost is 100 cedis. The cost is 100 cedis. You've made a profit of 50 cedis. But then if it is a product of an item, okay, now I recorded this one to be 100 cedis, then other costs to be maybe 10 cedis. By the time OZE runs my business performance, I would see profit to be 10 cedis. That means I have not made a profit of 20 cedis, even though I sold the chair at 120 cedis. But if it is a service, I think that will be okay, but I don't think if I'm still right. If you can still convince me.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be an interesting discussion to have with you. But in the light of time, they keep hinting that I don't have much time. So don't worry. I think I get it. It's the combination of what expenses you need to factor in to deduct from your sales, right? That you're looking at. But you don't need to look at just one item here. So you need to look at the total item that you sold, right? And subtract it from your expenses to be able to give you your net profit. Okay? So it will be difficult to say that electricity is 1 cedi, in transportation is 2 cedis, then you deduct it from your selling price of 120 cedis, right? So you just do the total volume of sales that you have had, which is 120 maybe by 100, 120 by 1,000, the number of chairs that you've sold, then you deduct it from the total expenses that you incur. Are you getting there now? Awesome. So let's just jump quickly. There's so much to show, but little time. Let's go on. So basically, I mentioned something too about talking to investors, right? Where you should know how much you make from an item that you sold, right? What percentage? So here it says that for net profit margin, it tells you how much you keep in your pocket for every Ghana cedi that comes in the door or into your pocket or into your business. And so the way to do this is you do your net profit over revenue. Let's say, for instance, if your net profit is 10% of 1 Ghana cedi, then for every 10 Ghana cedi that you earn, that means that you're keeping 1 cedi. So if for the net profit that you made is 10 cedis, right? That means that for every 10 cedis that you're making, you're keeping 1 Ghana cedi in your pocket. Are we here? Are we here? So you need to know how much money that you keep in your pocket for every item that you sold. So that when you're explaining that to investors, the investor will say, okay, if you keep 1 Ghana cedi in your pocket, then let me invest so that I'll get maybe 40 pesos out of that 1 Ghana cedi. Okay, so for every 1 Ghana cedi that now comes into the business, you split it. Your business keeps 60 pesos and then 40 pesos goes to that investor. That is a very critical thing to know so that when you are selling a portion of your business, you do not shortchange yourself. Are we on the same page here? You do not shortchange yourself. Yes?
I felt like also investing in your business, you don't need to get that 1 cedi. It should have increased. If you are getting 1 cedi, then it means you are running at a cost. So that 1 cedi should be maybe 2 cedis so that you can get 141 cedi, 40 pesos. Yes.
That's a very good understanding. And that's another level of it, okay? So thanks for bringing that to our notice. That's really good. So if an investor puts money in your business, definitely you can still be getting 1 cedi again. You need to get more than that, okay? But the principle still remains the same. So in this case, that investor will probably get what? 60 60 pesos, and then you get there. Exactly. Now, your sell-through rate is basically how much items that you sold, right? So this is basically calculated by the items that you sold over items that you bought times 100%. And so if you're having like an 80% sell-through rate, that means that over a particular month, right? It means that out of the 100 items that you bought, you sold 80 of them. And so you need to know all of this. When you have these numbers at your grips, look, it helps you to know what next for your business. You can't play ostrich anymore in your business because now you have the numbers at your fingertips. And that is why we are here to assist you. We will be able to provide all this information through the OZE app and support your business alongside, okay? So that you can be able to scale. Let's go to the next slide. So for those that are here and have not ever used the OZE app, this is the moment to start downloading the app. We're going to show you a few things about how to use OZE and to grow your business. So with the OZE app, you'll be able to see the money that is in your business. That is your cash balance, right? And then when we're talking about cash balance, that's money that stays in your business, money that is moving in and out and all of that, and what is staying in your business. And you can add a transaction. Every activity that you do in your business, you can record it in the OZE app as a sale or as an expense, and you'll be able to see in real time how that is affecting your cash balance in your business, okay? Now, the next thing is, which we have added, which is new and it's exciting, is by popular requests, inventory. A lot of you have been asking for inventory, and we are glad to report that we have it now. And so for those users that really needed inventory, you can go ahead and explore that right now, where you can add inventory. And then the next awesome thing that we've added is shop. Now, we don't want you to have to sell somewhere and then come back to the OZE app and record it. You can create your own OZE shop where you can market your product and your customers will buy from you on your shop, your own shop. You don't need to pay for a website hosting. You don't need to get someone to build it for you. It has been done for you already. And so you have your own shop. You put your products there, pictures of your product, and any customer that jumps onto your OZE shop will be able to buy from you, make payments on your shop, and you will receive the money in your account, and all that you have to do is just deliver to your customer. And so you don't really have to engage your customers. This is the price, this is, that is a long process. You're a business person, you don't have much time. You put your products there, you put a link out, maybe on your Instagram bio, you put it on your WhatsApp, quick, maybe your greeting message, your away messages. If you're away, you put your link there and say, oh, I'm currently not available, but this is my shop link, click on it and buy and we'll deliver. Person clicks on it, sees your products, makes order, then you deliver. It's very simple. I don't think I have enough time to do demo, do I? I don't have enough time to do demo. Okay. If you are here, look, of course, there are certain features that you might need as a business owner on OZE, and those comes at a fee. And so these are currently our rates for silver, gold, and platinum plan. We do have different packages that gives you different experiences in the OZE app. However, my colleague Michael will take us through OZE shop later on, and we'll use that opportunity to also talk about the pricing of the pricing change, the pricings that we have in OZE, and how you can make payments and how you can utilize these features to be able to scale your business and grow your skills as an entrepreneur. I think, do we have anything else in the slide there? Yeah, so I think at this point, let's take some questions. Let's answer some questions, and then we'll invite the next person then, I guess. And with the new version of the app that we are releasing, we are going to be in partnership with a delivery company so that whenever, even on shop, right, it will come very handy for users that will be on Oze shop. The minute you get an order and a payment is transferred, the delivery agent picks up the product from you and goes ahead to deliver to the customer. So we have very exciting things coming. So just hold tight. I think if I stay here longer, I will be taken off stage.
All right. My question is, when you do a normal paper invoice, your client sign, you sign. But with Oze, your client cannot sign. Is this something that you are doing that so that when we send an invoice, they will sign to authenticate it?
So with the new version of the app that I just showed you, you don't have that yet, right? So with the new version of the app that I just showed you, we are building towards that, where you can have your own signature. It's something that we've planned on our product roadmap. And even with the new version, it doesn't look like the receipts that you have on this particular version of the app that you have. It's a much more improved version. And you can even send it as a text to somebody, and the person clicks on the link and then sees the whole receipt screen. We didn't have that at first. So there are a lot of improvements that we are making based on the feedback that we've been getting. So I think we'll let Dave answer questions on how or when the new version is going to be released. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed it. Okay, so Prince is a part of Oze. So someone telling you about their own product, sometimes it can get a bit repetitive. For those who have been with us for a long time, I'm sure you've heard about some of these features, you've heard these conversations before. So this time we wanted to do something different. We wanted someone who is like one of you, someone who is a user of the app, to come and then talk to you about their experience. I mean, he's over here, so it's not like it's something that we filmed or we've coached him through anything. It's like a lifetime thing, so that you can ask him any questions that you have. If you find somebody that you can relate to, we believe that we'll be able to make progress with like giving you more information about the app. And so today we have with us someone called Mr. Wilson Theodore. He's the CEO of God's Life Cashless Enterprise. He's going to take us through how he uses the app for bookkeeping. So let's welcome Mr. Theodore.
Thank you. Good morning once again. My name is Wilson Theodore, and I'd like to tell you about my journey so far as Ozepreneur. Before the start of God's Life Cashless Enterprise, I had 5 strategies in mind to achieve in 5 years, both in mind and on paper. Firstly, the vision is to be Ghana's most trusted mobile money agency firm. And the mission is to connect small towns and cities to banks and telcos. Being aware of that, the next thing is to get a lot of motivation and knowledge that works. Having decided to stay out of classroom, but be open to self-education and learning, YouTube, Google, and Play Store became my greatest sources of learning. During one of my Play Store explorations, I met Oze, which I installed. This time, after estimatedly 2 weeks of operation, I registered on the app when I announced to my customers that they can buy and pay later. You can imagine buying airtime of 1 cedi, 2 cedis, 3 cedis for a month before you pay. So how would that be possible without keeping records? So Mr. K needs airtime 2 cedis. He calls and gets it consistently at the end of the month before he pays. If that should be 500 cedis, how then do I have that integrity not to cheat him and he also not cheating the business? That was when Oze came in. I then transferred the data from my ledger, the exercise book, into the Oze app. In a month's time, I got a call from Oze requesting that I renew my subscription. So I signed up to the silver, which I did. As of that period, I knew I had just about 200 cedis, which
I was recording in the app, but I could not see it at the current cash balance. So, but I got assistance from Prince and the rest of the team. I got introduced to Oze's YouTube videos where I confirmed that I was on the right path with my trials and errors. At the end of 2021, Oze gave me 150 cedis for winning a promo. And at the beginning of 2023, again, Oze gave 1,100 cedis for winning a promo. Not that alone. As we speak now, I can track and also see my amount receivable and also see my performance status of the business. I now have a solid report template through Oze's education in the app through notifications. And also, with the help of Oze, the strategy meant to execute from 2023, August 2021, 23rd August 2021 to 2025 is now, say, 60% executed. From one MTN EVD account, 25 cedis EVD stock, one mobile phone, and no expertise in business. God's Life Cashless have grown to one Samsung A70, 3 small phones, one Vodafone Cash Agent account, one MTN Momo Agent account, one Airtel Go Money Agent account, one MTN EVD account, 2 Vodafone EVD account, 2 Airtel Go EVD account. In summary, having a balance sheet of 13,000, 8 cedis and 20 pesos, and a liability of 13,000, 8 cedis and 65 pesos as of 20th March 2023. I cannot end my story without mentioning the names of Meshach Noenote and Kenneth Mensah, who believed in me as a result of Oze, where I had to speak to them about Oze, and they believed that there is the integrity to trust and also invest and be the best customers. I'm asked of one of the values that Oze has improved in God's Life Cashless Enterprise is trust. It has helped us to improve on our trust at the point where customers would even request that you check from Oze how much they owe to confirm whether they themselves are confused about it or not. They want to see that that is what you have in your system. That is so much trust that Oze has helped us to gain from our customers and investors. Some will even request that you check from your system. Before I take my seat, I would like to leave you with a quote, which is, with inventiveness and close collaboration, we can overcome the gaps that the absence of digital transformation has left us behind. We cannot ignore the challenges it brings, but we must focus on our visions and long-term goals. This has been said, I'm quoting Wilson Chiodoavi. Thank you very much.
I think there is an instance where you say you cannot see your transaction and you call. Did they provide you, or how did they help you with that one?
Okay, thank you. With the education Oze gave me, that they have not given the formula, let me say the formula, of how to get the current cash balance, but the ideas that were in the education they gave me. Okay, so, and then the options they have provided where I could see my profit, whether it is negative or positive, where I could see my initial balance. then the current cash balance. What they could not provide at that time was the stock. So I knew I could add my stock value, get the profit, take the profit out of it, how much I have. I personally have tracked my e-cash and the fiscal card. I said I have a template, okay, I have a report template, which I got from education from Jose. So I knew how much e-cash I have on the go, I knew how much fiscal cash I have on the go, and I knew my stock value. So balancing all those figures, I was able to get the current cash balance, which matched with what is in the system, what I have. Have I answered your question correctly, if at least?
Your business growing, because from your presentation, you say you have 13,000 whatever, but you also own 13,000. So when you did that, it means your profits margin is small.
I haven't said I owe. I said a liability. That was a balance sheet. On the balance sheet, you should have a balance. Okay, the assets should be equal to the liabilities. So inside that liability, I don't owe anybody. Even if I owe somebody, it's in the liability. The investors' money, the equity is in it. The assets I have, the mobile phones, anything that I said. Do you get it? So I don't. Yeah.